All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess with Kinder Stampo, and today I'm going to be doing a few projects on the Helmar Live Ustream. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this week is all about Faber Castell. So if you want to click on the link that I just put in the chat, you can go ahead and see all of the fun projects that all of the design team has been working on with Faber Castell. And here goes my little cup full of yummy Faber Castell products, and I'll be doing a quick demo of how I color some of my stamps, just a quick tutorial. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of how I put together these minis here. There are a bunch of minis that I just put together for some of my friends at CHA. I don't know if all of you know, maybe some of you do by now, but I am actually going to CHA next week. I'm super duper duper excited because I didn't think I was going to be able to go this year. But I'm going to be able to go. So if any of you are going to be there, I'll be at the Helmar booth. So definitely stop by. I think I'm going to try to do some kind of live stream or something from the booth. So definitely stay tuned for that. You may not be able to watch it live depending on the time, but I promise that I'll record it so you can see it later. And I'll be able to share a lot of the fun projects. I didn't do this in the past when I went to the previous CHAs. Sometimes you get a little bit overwhelmed by everything, and Limor can attest to that. We spent a lot of time last time staring at Tim Holtz, and I'm sure if you guys were able to go, you probably would know why we stood there that whole time. But this time I'm definitely going to do some videos and definitely share them, and hopefully some of them I'll be able to share live. So stay tuned for that. And Sarah, yeah, I think this is the latest fashion. My daughter and I went to get our nails done a couple of weeks ago, and she decided that I needed to get 2 different color nails, and I decided I was going to go with pink and chocolate, kind of like a Neapolitan, kind of strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate kind of deal. Although there's no white, but you know what I mean. So that's what I went with. So let me go ahead and move these little minis to the side, and then I'll do the quick demo on how I do the coloring, and then I'll show you kind of the basis for this, and then I'll continue to embellish them because, like I said, they're not complete at this point. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see this. I'm gonna color a little stamped image, and let me know if that is close enough for you. Probably. I'm gonna use this fun stamp. I think it might be fairly new, or maybe not. It's by Fancy Pants Designs. It's the Childish collection, which is super duper cute. I actually have some more of them in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find them. There's a little prince, and I think there's even a little princess. Yeah, here it goes. Cute little prince and cute little princess, and I thought they were fun to pick up just to do some quick coloring on my cards. You guys know that I love making cards. It's between that and making mini albums, that's probably my thing, other than, you know, altering projects whenever I get a chance to. But these are quick and easy, and I love giving quick little gifts to my friends, so I always find that the cards and the minis are the easiest for me to do. So I picked these up, and I'll move these over to the side. I think I'm going to use this one so you guys can see it, only because I really like the big bold spaces, and it's a good way for you to see how the shadowing works. So what you're going to need is your stamp, an acrylic block, and any kind of acid-free permanent waterproof ink. I tend to use the Ranger Archival ink. I like how dark it is. Hey Haiti, how are you? Are you going to have some time to meet up with us at CHA next week? So I'm just going to stamp it on, and I know you guys know that sometimes I tend to put the ink on my stamp. These are those I guess they're acrylic stamps, so they're more plastic based. I tend to always use archival ink with them anyway, because if you use anything like Memento, the ink tends to bubble on them and you never get a really good impression. So I find that these less expensive stamps are really good for coloring, especially when you use archival ink. So I have been adding to my collection because of that. So I'm just going to stamp this on my paper. Okay, so there we go. So you see how really pretty that is. Now I'm just gonna push it around a second just so that it dries. Probably is already dry, but I just want to be safe. I'm gonna use one of these water brushes. This is not the one by Tim Holtz. I forgot who makes these. I think it's Lang Royale or something like that, or Royal Langley, something like that. I've posted on my page a couple times, so if you guys need to know, definitely send me a note. It's the ones that I use for all of my Tim Holtz distressing and anything that's watercoloring I use them for. They come in a pack of 3 like this, and you can find them at any of your local craft stores. And they cost about $5.99 for all 3. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Lindy's Stamp Gang. They have these awesome madrigals. And this is the reason why I have these, because I use them all the time to color my flowers. And this is what I use for that. And let me just show you really quick. I know we're getting off subject, but here are some of the petals that I have that are just white. And then here are the ones that I colored with the madrigals and these brushes. So you get a really pretty kind of effect on them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the red brush right here. And the reason why I'm using that is because the red one is the fine tip brush. And I'm trying to see what I did with my little paper that I had here a second ago. My little paper disappeared. Oh, here it goes. Okay, I always keep a little paper on the side just to kind of dab off if I have to. So I'm just going to squeeze just to make sure my brush is nice and wet. And now I'm just going to pick a couple of colors and fill in this little heart. So I'm going to do red, and I'm going to do a darker color because that'll give a little better shading. And I'm going to do a blue. So I'm just going to get the blue. And all I do, you guys know that I don't really have a rhyme or reason the way that I color, so I just kind of color just to color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just color the top part of the circle, so I'm just kind of outlining it. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more so you can see that a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just outlining the top of the circle. And some people like to wet their paper before they put the color down. With pencils, I tend to think that it's easier for me to just color directly on the dry paper. But again, that's completely up to you. There's so many different ways to use it. It's basically just what you feel comfortable with. I just find it's easier to kind of control it when it's not wet. So I'm just coloring the top part of it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because once I go in and put the water, and you'll see that, the top of it will be darker and the bottom of it will be lighter because I'm going to be pulling the color away. So again, just putting some color down. And with these small kind of little projects, I tend to just color everything that's that one color first, so I don't have to go back in later. So now I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just pulling away. So you see how quickly the water moves the color. And if you feel that it's getting a little bit too wet, all you have to do is kind of wipe your brush on there and then start over. So just pulling the color from the top to the bottom. And can you guys see how it kind of looks like it's dark on the top and it has that glow? So super duper easy. This is probably just as fun to do as the Tim Holtz Distress markers. The one fun thing about the Faber Castells is that they have a huge collection of markers. And they're more known for arts and crafts and professional watercoloring. So the quality of the product is really awesome. Not that I'm trying to take away from the distress markers. I think that distress markers are really great for what they are. But if you want to have a little bit more variety, and if you are really looking into taking up watercoloring as more of a hobby, I would definitely try using the Faber Castells. They're super, super good. And their markers are really fun because they have like this little ergonomic and non-skid proof shape to the barrel. And what's fun too, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but sometimes if you're using a pencil, the lead will break and it'll easily come off. They actually adhere their leads to the wood inside, so you don't get any of that crazy breakage. Yep, Cindy, I'm using watercoloring. I'm so glad you're here, Debbie. You haven't been here in like forever. But then again, I haven't been doing them in like forever either. I've started to get a little bit more consistent about these. But I'm getting better, I hope. Just turning off my phone so it doesn't start going off. So see, I'm just coloring. And already I think it looks so pretty because it looks like the light is like just shining it, kind of like a moon shadow. This blue is really pretty. I don't even know. They don't have any color, what do you call it? Names on them, but this one's number 144 if you're just wondering what color it is. So super pretty. And then now I'm just going to go in and just add color to the little rings. Again, no rhyme or reason, just laying it on there. And you don't have to put so much. It doesn't have to be like filling in the whole area because once you put the water on it, it's going to spread. So you don't have to use very much color at all, which is another thing that I love about watercoloring is that your products go a really long way. So I'm just filling in the orange. And I think this part it probably won't show as much, but I'll put a picture up later on so you guys can see it. But again, the main reason why I wanted to show you is just so you guys can see how really, really easy it is. It's like literally coloring with crayons. I think just one of the important things is that the way that these water brushes work, the water's all constantly flowing, so you don't ever have to squeeze. I know sometimes you feel like you need to squeeze to get water out. The amount of water that's coming out naturally on the brush is all you ever need. The only thing that may ever happen is that there might be a little bit too much water, and then you just dab it off on your little paper that I have over here. So all you need is a little regular paper towel or a napkin or tissue, just for dabbing purposes. So again, I'm just kind of coloring it in. Making sure that it fills in the whole area. Yeah, I know, Janet. See, you don't have that issue anymore. You're not going to have a brand new step because the color will stay inside. Isn't that funny? I thought I was the only one that had that issue. You know what? Let me just use yellow. I'm going to put some yellow. Oh, talk about breaking the tip. So I'm going to just put some yellow in here. And then I'll put some green. It's so pretty. And there's no dust or any of that. I know they also have, Faber Castell has all kinds of like pastel pencils, and they have those really fun, what are they called? The artist pens, which are really cool for mixed media and stuff. So don't worry, I won't show everything today, but I promise to show it later on as well. Yep, it's just the right amount of water. So again, just softening the color with the brush so it doesn't have those harsh pencil lines. And don't be afraid if you touch the other areas, it's not going to mess it up. You can always go back and remove color if you had to. So now I'm just going to add that extra color, just the green. Just as a highlight. Did I forget anything? Just making sure I don't leave any white spots here. Oh, one more. These circles are like a little optical illusion. Yeah, these brushes are really fun. If you don't have one, definitely pick them up. Like I said, they're really reasonable, and they're perfect. I mean, you don't have to use them just with these. They're so versatile because I know a lot of us have also like the Stampin' Up! Markers. You can use them with that. You can use them with the Tim Holtz Distress markers. They work excellent with the Faber Castell water pencils. So you can use them for so many different things. They work perfect with Lindy Stamp Gang, micas. So I think it's definitely one of those tools you need to have in your craft room. I forgot. Where did I forget? Oh, here we go. One of them got left behind. Poor little heart. So that's it. I do love my tools, don't I? So you see, pretty little heart, and you see how soft the colors are because I kind of did the highlight on the top. You can see the richness on the top and then how it just pulls the color down, so you can see that really pretty shadow on it. Just fun, and just a different way to color your images. You don't always have to get so fancy, but like you saw, it takes literally 2 seconds to color it. I kind of talked more than I should have, but all you have to do is put the color down, take your little brush, and just brush off. And then here goes the one I did earlier while I was just testing it out. This one has red in it. But I love how the blue really looks like a highlight. Super fun. So do you guys have any questions about the pencils? Aw, hey Linda. Make Oliver put him to sleep. So that's pretty much it. I mean, let me see what else I can do. I don't know if you guys have seen these. You know what? Let's try this too. Let's do one more thing. Again, we're going to ink this up. This one is a mama's boy. I'm just going to ink one up and color it with my gelatos. Just for the sake of trying something else. Where can you get the brushes? You can get them anywhere, Dee Dee. Actually, Michael's already has them in the same section where, what do you call it? Where the Tim Holtz markers are and the glitters and all that stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. They have quite a good selection of them. Because it's becoming such a popular mixed media tool, you can find them in your local craft stores, which is fun. So here we go. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I put down my gelatos. This one right here is a really dirty gelato, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not one of those like mixed media artists that likes to have messy tools out there. Not that I am saying there's anything wrong with that, but I tend to have this obsession with having clean, I don't know. Everything needs to be clean, so I'm constantly cleaning these off because I don't like gunk around my tools. It's probably like an ADD thing, but so rather than applying it on directly, you can. I tend to apply it right on my mat. Let's see, can you see that? And this one is a metallic color. Let me see if it has the color on it. I was trying to figure that out earlier, but I don't think that any of gelatos actually have a color on them. But this one came in I think the red collection. What's really nice, they have a collection that comes with this, and it comes with the Pit Artist Big Brush pen. I think it also came with this really cool ruby metallic marker, which was pretty. It also came with one of the watercolors, and I think that might have been it, maybe. Maybe it had this orange one in here. I don't know, but it was just a fun collection to try different things. super pretty. So okay, so now what I do is I just take my brush and I squeeze a little dot of water on there and I turn it into watercolor. I know, it sounds silly because I have watercolor markers, but I mean pencils, but you can use them this way as well. And sometimes I like the light effect that it leaves versus having to put the pastel directly on there. So again, you just kind of pick up the color and just color in your little areas as you wish. Nothing too fancy, and I really love these metallic gelatos. They have micas in them, I believe, because they're very iridescent, but they don't take away from the color. So it's kind of like a clear metallic, if that even makes sense to you. And you see how quickly you can color in these little circles with just simply dabbing it on your craft mat and then just coloring in the circles like that. And again, you get the same kind of effect that you get if you used your watercolor. I'm just going to color the whole thing in, just because, I don't know. It's just so pretty. I love this color. And it's so soft. It's kind of a salmony color, but yet it has really pretty pink hues in it. Super pretty. And then all I do is take, again, you know, that very special tool that I have, this little magic napkin, and clean it up. And it's already pretty much dry already. Like, you don't really have to do it that much for it to... Let me see if you can see the iridescence of the color. Probably not so much. But I promise you that it's really super metallic-y. So, let me see. So I think with that, I'll stop playing with my Faber Castells for now, and then we'll go ahead and start the mini album, unless you guys have any questions about that. But again, don't be afraid to try these tools. They're super fun, super easy. Another thing that I found that's really fun, I don't know if you guys have seen these, but they're these watercoloring trays. You can find them at any art store. And of course, now it's not going to open. And basically, it's kind of like a palette, so you can put it on your finger like this and hold it. I like to save time, so I go ahead and I take all of my distress markers and I kind of rub them in here so I have all of my colors readily available. But they're perfect for doing the exact same effect with your Faber Castell gelato. So all you have to do is just put little gunks of this gel in here, and same thing, just have one brush and you can mix your colors right in the tray. So super duper fun way of using your gelatos and kind of having them on the go. When I go to CHA this week, I really wanted to take my all of my markers and my pencils with me, but I decided instead I'm going to take this little tray with me, and then I'm going to go hit the Ranger booth and borrow all of Tim's and refill if I have to. So another cool tool that you may want to look into. And again, you can find these in any of your craft stores. I think I found it in the paintbrush section of maybe Hobby Lobby. I might have paid a couple bucks for it. Wasn't too expensive at all. And then these can serve as your little water trays if you need them. Yep, really cool for traveling. I was looking for something smaller, but it doesn't weigh anything and it has a lot of space in it. So yeah, perfect for traveling. Okay, so let's put this over to the side. And, oh, you know what I forgot? No, it's right there. So I'm just going to open up, I think the one that's kind of finished. It's not finished either, but it's a little bit closer to finished. And like I said, don't read the name. I made a mistake. It's really not for her. So basically the way that the album works is it has these little ribbons here, and you open it up, right? And then it has, the binding system in here is kind of funky, and I'll show you how I made it. I don't have the exact measurements for it, but I'll give you an idea of how it works because I kind of pre-cut everything and I don't know where my measurements are right now. but it's so super easy. You don't need to use chipboard for your binding because it's relatively light and you won't have any of those issues. And the only things that are chipboard are just the two covers. So the front goes like that, and then in here I just created a little bit of a pocket so you can put a photo in there. Oh, and let me zoom out because I think now a little too close up for this being okay. And then again over here, there's again a little pocket so you can put some photos in there. Another pocket in here. And I'm going to add more embellishments. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. But I'm trying to do all of my albums the same way first and then finish off the embellishing later. Here goes like a little tab so you can stick some photos in there again. Hey Lisa! Hey Melanie! Here goes another one, just a little quick tab, another quick tab in here. I'm trying to think, maybe these are 5 by 3.5 or so. Another one here, another little pocket here, another little pocket here, another pocket here. It's not really a pocket, but you can slide something in. Let's see. See, tuck it in there, just a photo or something. Same thing over here. Slide it in there. Tuck a photo in here. And then same things here. Here goes another one. So it's just a fun way of using a paper collection. And then it just closes up like this. Just simple little closure. Put a little bow. This is actually just, what is it, like silk ribbon or seam binding. I don't know what you guys call it, but, and then it just stands up perfectly. Perfect little cute little album. And then it has just this little simple wrap along the outside just so that it completes the album. So, let me see. Let me show you. See, they're all the same. This is the one I made for Helmar. And again, this one just has, there's no dimension on it because, again, my challenge was to use just one product, so I used only craft glue on these. And it's pretty much the same thing, just I haven't added any of the little pockets. And that's kind of what I'm going to work on finishing. So I just did a lot of just covering the pages and doing the backs. And then I just need to add some embellishments. Again, just using craft glue because I'm not allowed to use more than one product, right, Melanie? So there's that one. And then let me see. Let me show you the other ones. They're all pretty much the same. It's the same. This one has a little bit of dimension because that's not for the booth. These little letters on here. This little image that I did a little distressing. The inside is identical on all of them. Again, this one too, same thing. Just 4 different designs on the front, but again, it's the exact same paper collection. It's just how you layer things on your papers. See, these I used different little colors and stuff, and some of them have these little tags, others don't, but these are all cut out of paper. I know, I'm notorious for fuzzy cutting everything. If I can cut it out of paper, I will. I don't tend to buy embellishments very much unless I get a really good deal on them. So the only thing that I tend to spend money on is like my adhesives and just my rhinestones and stuff, because I find that those can always go a long way. And then anything else I can probably make out of paper. But yeah, these embellishments here are chipboard letters as well, which I just kind of had in my stash. And like I said, they do have stickers in their collections, which are really pretty. I actually used these 2 buttons on here because just I wanted to see how they looked. Don't think I like them very much, but I did use them though. Oh, and then here goes the last one. I just realized I had another one. Then here goes another one, and this one was just another one of these die cuts. It was really big, and I didn't like how big it was, so instead of using it, I cut out the word, and then I kind of cut the letters out and just put them on some Helmar Zap Dots. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, there you go. The little mini ones, the 1/4 inches, and I distressed it and just put it on here. So I just thought it was cute. That's why we're best friends. And then I put Lucky. And then just 2 little stickers on here. Just for fun. Okay, so oh, that's what I had that page. I was wondering why I had an empty Ziploc on my desk. And that's because I had the Ziploc is where I stored my albums. I love making mini albums because I find that they're really quick and fun to do, especially when they're this kind of size. And like I said, it's really easy to make them and kind of keep them on the side, and then if you want, just personalize them later. So I tend to mass produce a lot of stuff, and this is one of those crazy mass produced projects. I can send the one with the buttons to you. That's too funny, Lisa. After the show, I bet you I'm going to get like 10 emails from folks telling me that they want that one if I don't really like it. So I'm just going to grab some of my tools here, and I pre-made a couple of albums just so I can show you what they look like. Grab my favorite Purple Cow 2-in-1 trimmer that I use. So here we go. Okay, so I don't have the exact dimensions for this, like I said, but this is pretty much the base of the mini album. So the 2 outer edges are just a really simple construction. And then all of these flaps just kind of fold down. So at any given time, this literally could be a flat mini. So can you see that? Have you ever seen a mini album that can be so flat but yet be dimensional at the same time? And the reason why you can do that is because it has a 1/4 of an inch between each space, so it kind of just can lay out flat. And the reason it's done that way is so that there's a little bit of space for what do you call it? For adding some kind of dimension if you want. You don't have to do it because, like I said, when you put the ribbon on it, you can close it, and even if you don't add any dimension, it's perfect. So I'll wait for the commercial to go because I know Cindy always gets the commercials at the wrong times. I'll take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. I hope Erica's going to have like a case of Dr. Pepper for us at the Helmar booth. Oh my goodness. It's so hot in Texas, it's like unbearable. And you needed to sort out your daughter's ATM? So there goes that, and I'll show you exactly how it works. So here is basically the basic construction, and again, I don't have the exact measurements for you, but I'll tell you basically the way it works. Let me see if I can get a piece of paper so that this even makes more visual sense to you. Okay. So you're going to take any piece of paper, right? So assume that you're doing, hey, this is that marker that never worked. Not good. Let me find another one. Okay. So gosh, this is purple now. I can't find anything that works now. Okay, so assume that this is your little paper, right? So let's say that this is 1 inch and then this is 2 inches. That's going to be your first piece in the middle right here. And then all you're going to do is you're going to go, well, this doesn't make any sense. 2 1/4. Let's say 2 1/4. Okay, so this is 1 inch. Okay, so you're going to go in and score it at the 1 inch mark, and then this one you're going to score at the 1 inch mark, right? Then the next one, you're going to do the exact same thing. All you're going to do is you're going to maintain this, right? So this one's going to be 1, this one's going to be 1, and you're going to add 1/2 inch to this. So then your width is going to be 2 3/4. So you're adding 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch to each piece, right? So again, you're going to score it 1 inch from the left and then 1 inch from the right. So this is going to be, and you're always going to have So the first one is going to have like a 1/4 inch. The second one's going to have about 1/2 inch, and it's just going to keep increasing. It's the same thing. The third piece, you're going to do, you're going to maintain the width always on your length, right? And then you're going to add another 1/2 inch. So it's going to be 3 1/4 inch. Does that make sense to you? And again, just scoring at the 1 inch mark. So there's no real like true rules on how you can do it because you can make so many different ones. So you see this one right here. Let me see if I can measure it. This one is it 2 inches, right? No, that can't be right. 2 1/4 inch, right? So then I scored it 1 inch from the left, and then I turned it around and then scored it again 1 inch, and then the center I just had 1/4 inch, right? Then the next paper is whatever your length is, your width is going to increase by 1/2 inch, and then the following one is going to increase 1/2 inch from the other. So you're always going to have 1/4 inch on each side, and then the center is just going to fold up. So you see, this is going to fold up, and then when these two fold up, you're going to have 1/4 inch here and 1/4 inch here, and then these two fold up, and you have another 1/4 inch here and 1/4 inch here, and then they fold up, and again the 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch, and you can always add more, as many as you wish, and make it as wide or as long as you want. So super fun and easy way to bind your minis. Alright, so let's move this, and then here goes, this is basically what the paper looks like, and again, no real dimensions, you can make them as big as you want. The only thing you want to make sure is that it's always as, what is this, as long as your base, because you want to make sure that it securely holds on. And I actually, the way that I do it is I go from back to front, so I fold everything over this way, and I leave the last flap there because this is the one that's going to have my cover, right? So then I just put some adhesive on here and then glue it on there. Then I flip it over. I put some adhesive there, and then I put the page and I fold it over, adhesive there, 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 and I fold it over, and then the last flap, which is the front, I fold it over this way, right? And then I use my cover, which I actually make the cover about 1/2 inch bigger than the pages, just so that I can have a little bit of height, and that goes on the front. So then that just will open up like that, and then you'll have the front and the back. So I promise I'll do a tutorial on how to make it with more details later on. But again, if you send me a note or a quick message, I'll definitely give you a quick instruction. But it's basically, like I said, whatever you start with, it probably makes sense to start with, make your width to have 1/4 inch, right? So if you want to do your width to be 2 1/4 inch, that's fine. You want it 3 1/4 inch, that's fine. But always, let's try this again. So if you start with 2 1/4 or 3 1/4 by, let's say, by 5, right? So you're always going to maintain the 5 is always going to be the constant. The only thing that's going to change are these numbers. And these are always just going to increase by 1/2 inch. So increase by 1/2 inch. And then again, these can change. So this can be 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, but these will always be constant, and only these right here are going to be the ones that change. So 2 1/4, and then 2 3/3, and then 3 1/2, and 3 3/4, and just continue that way until you get your desired number of pages. Do you guys have any question about that? So let me move this. Move my little ruler over too. And then here goes my little border. And I have all my pages already. Pretty much I have them cut out because, again, I was mass producing, so I tried to cut out as much as I could. in advance, but let me see where. Uh-oh. Did I not sort them? I thought I sorted them. Ah, okay, I guess I didn't. Yeah, I think I did sort them. 6, 7, 8. Okay, here we go. I did sort them. Guess I just sorted one. You think you get it? Once you try it, it's pretty easy. You just need to constantly remember. How big were my pages? I think my pages were 3.5 inches wide by 5 inches, and I think the outside is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So remember, so whatever this is, you're just gonna add a 1/2 inch each way for the for the covers. So for this, I know, here I go being anal again, but when you're mass producing it, it makes sense this way. So here's how it goes. So this one goes in here, right? And then I decided to use the same coordinating papers on here. So the way that I did is, you see how both of these are on top of each other because they match, but they're double-sided paper. So I'm going to go ahead and punch these both here. But then when I open them up, one side's going to have this and one side's going to have that. And the punched corners are going to be perfect. So I don't have to stop and punch them all differently because I've already kind of pre-thought everything. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to take stack by stack and use my corner rounder here. And I love this tool. I don't know how you don't have when you absolutely need it. My little corner chomper. And then I'm just going to flip it over. Do a little bit more corner chompering. Flip it over. Let's see. Flip. And my last little corner chompering here. Yeah, this is a fun collection. It's by Cosmo Cricket. It's called Upcycle. It's really, really fun. The colors are just soft and pretty, and I love that. So I'm going to use my craft glue. Hey, Nikki! So I'm just going to glue these on, and I'm just, you don't need, remember the adhesive goes a long way, so what I tend to do is I just put the nozzle to the paper and then slowly let out some of the glue. And then I just draw a line through the center. And the only reason I do that is because I tend to put embellishments in the center sometimes. And I don't want, if I didn't put any adhesive in the center, sometimes the embellishments are a little too heavy. So I always put that little dab of glue in the center just to make sure that it's totally secure. So now again, see this one was on the top, and now I'm just going to flip it and it's going to be the inside cover. And then this one will go right here. And you can absolutely ink the edges if you like. This paper is so pretty and bright, and it's not very thick paper, so you don't get to see a lot of the white core. So just to save some time, I didn't ink them, and because it just looked pretty without it. What I did ink were things like the what do you call it? Any of the little side cuts and stuff like that, because those tend to have a little wider core when you cut with your scissors. So just super, super duper easy mini. And now you guys can see why I was able to make, let's see, how many have I made yet so far? About 8 mini albums in the past couple of days. Because once you have the basic framework of the album, it's pretty easy to do. Like like I said, just mass produce them. Cut out your pieces of paper, make sure you have them all laid out, and then everything is easy peasy. Just laying it out. And it helps to have a really good paper cutter. I know I used to use my Fiskar, what do you call it? My Fiskar paper cutter, and it's not that I'm trying to be mean, but I don't know if you guys have had this. Maybe it's because I've cut so many different kinds of materials that I've kind of messed them up every time. But the wire has broken on me twice. So I've given up on the less expensive paper cutters. When you do a lot of mass production, it pays to kind of invest in something a little bit more expensive, especially with that kind of tool. You're always going to use a paper cutter. So I have the, what is it, the Purple Cows 2-in-1 trimmer. I love it. It's absolutely wonderful, and you don't need to change a blade on it ever. It's like kind of lifetime guarantee, so that's pretty cool. You see, Melanie, you should make one for her. They're super easy peasy. And you see, again, you see how there's no worries if you're messing it up. This thing is like completely flat right now. And then I'll open it up, and then, you see, it kind of snaps up together. It's like a collapsible mini. Aww. Well, then I think you should absolutely make one for her. Yeah, the smaller trimmers are just not fun. I mean, I've broken 2 of them, and honestly, those were my favorite paper trimmers because they were so easy and lightweight. But I got tired of calling the company and having to get it replaced. I kind of felt bad. I don't know why, because it did legitimately break on me every time. But it was just taking forever, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to invest in something else and make sure that this one works and it's a little bit more durable. So there goes that page. Oops, I almost did it. It's light and easy. Yeah. That was the other thing. I got tired of replacing the blades on it. I felt like I was spending more money on replacing the blades. And this one, you don't even have to replace blades. So how amazing is that? So there. And then, okay, this one goes here. And that one goes there. And that's it. That's literally all the pages in the center. How super quick and easy was that? So now I have all my pages covered in like literally 2 seconds. And then let me see if I have any papers I can use to cover. Of course, I should have brought some, but I didn't. What did I do with them? Okay, let me just walk away for 2 seconds, and I'll be right back so I can just cover the front and show you how I did the binding. Let me make sure that this is wide enough for this as well. Of course not. Okay, it is. But I don't think it's wide enough. Let me just go grab a piece of paper. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, this is craft cardstock. If you're wondering, sorry, I had to just run away for a second. It's absolutely craft cardstock. Phew, I think I need to start working out. I'm almost passed out going down the stairs. The top of it is chipboard, and the inside and the binding is just regular craft cardstock. Okay, let me see. Just trying to see what I remember. Okay, so let me cut the front and the back. And here goes my paper cutter, which I love. And I'm just gonna cut 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Let me see. Can I cut another one? Maybe. One more. Oh, I guess I only needed one, but might as well. Okay. So here goes my coverage for the inside and the outside. 4. And then, let me see. I have to do my binding at, let's measure this. It's too short. Oh, good night, Lisa. So 3 3/4. This is for my binding. By 4 1/4. Okay. So now we have that. And that's all we needed. This is a good way to use your scrap too. Okay, so here goes this. And this is the front, and this is the inside. And then that's the inside of that. Okay, so again, here I go being a little OCD again. But see, this and this is going to go here. So this one's on the front and this one's on the inside. So on the double-sided papers, you want the same pattern to be on top of each other. So when you cut it with the corner chomper, you're cutting this edge, and then the corners will line up perfectly. And then the back is going to be the same thing. This is going to be my inside, and this is going to be my back, right? So my corners will be chomped. Okay. Uh-oh. I guess I cut this one too low. See what happens when you don't pay attention? How did I do that? Okay, you know what? When all else fails and you don't know how to measure, you cut with your scissors, right? Here we go. Just so that this is kind of like what I do when I'm too lazy to get my trimmer. And now I'm going to line them up. And chomp. Again, line them up and chomp. But I feel like this chomping didn't turn out so well. There we go. Okay. It's amazing how we're all in like different places right now. So cool. So just gluing this, and you guys see how I love the craft glue, because like I said, if I need to do any kind of like quick adjustments or kind of wiggling here and there on, see, I can do that. and it's not going to dry on me so quickly. So that's that. And then this one I'll put, again, some adhesive on it. A little swoosh in the middle. And this one goes on here. And again, you can still lay them flat. See how the mini still lays flat? But then again, when you lift it up, kind of all snaps together. I don't know why I think that's so fascinating. But I do. I think it's really cool. I think for purposes, for crafters, it's really fun. Because we can kind of carry a bunch of them and not have to worry about it. Okay, so you know what I did and I forgot? I forgot to put my ribbon in here, so look what I did. I'm pulling off my paper, no problems, because it's still a little bit wet, right? I'm going to take some seam binding. And see, there's no goof ups. Again, put a little bit of adhesive there, re-round it here. Put it in the center. And now replace my paper back on here, and there's no mistakes. Did you guys see that? And no one will ever know that I goofed that one up. And then I'll just put a little dab of glue there, and a little dab here, just to hold it in place. I'll lay it out. And I'll put this one on here. Oops. Okay, I must have been like hallucinating with the size on this paper, because again, I made this one too big. Isn't that weird? Why did I do that? Okay, let's break out the trimmer. Somehow I didn't cut it properly. That's weird. It says it's the right measurements. That is so strange. Let me measure this with my ruler. Huh. Am I going crazy today? That is so weird. It says it's the right measurement, but it's when I go to put it on here, it's not lining up correctly. That is so strange. Okay, let me cut 1/4 of an inch off of here. That is so strange. Let's try this again. I don't know why it's not lining up. I still need to cut about 1/8 of an inch. You know what? Actually, does it make a difference if I cut too much off? Because I'm going to put the binding on it. But look, I need to take this one off too. So silly. See? There's always something that happens live, right? I think that's good now. Let's see. Now, of course, it's going to be too short, right? Yay. Okay. All right. We're good now. Now what did I do with my little dabber here? Bye, Cindy. Thank you for joining. I know I'm going way too long today. I just wanted you guys to kind of see this, how the basic construction is. And worst case, if you can't see it now, you can always watch the recording. So there goes that. Okay. And then this one goes here. Oh, look what I did. I swear, it's like a full moon. I put down the wrong color. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, here we go. Let me cut another one. I really think it's a full moon here. 5 and 3. Okay. Jeez. See what happens when I try to be all logical? I goof it up. And again, somehow I'm not lining it up correctly. I don't know why. But guess what? We're going to make it work, and I'll cut it off with my handy dandy scissors. I must have cut the chipboard a little shorter than I thought I did. That's okay. We can always adjust. So there goes that. And because, see, here's where the magic of the flat mini goes, right? Because you see how flat it is now? Now I can just take my scissors, if I know where they went, and just trim this off. Voila! So now that part is done. And then this part right here is like really as simple as it gets. All I really do is I put the binding here. There's no science to it. And kind of just fold it over and then crease it on the edges. So it's nice and creased on each edge. And then I just glue it down. I just put a generous amount of glue all over because I want the inside to attach against the backing of the spine. And then, look at this. Easy peasy. And then if you want to make it easier, you just lay it out flat. Then just open up and just squeeze down to make sure that it's adhered pretty good. And make sure this side is adhered and this side is adhered. And that's it. That's pretty much how that goes. Do I score at all? No, I'm not very good at scoring. You can absolutely score. But again, you don't really need any measurements on this because I think I did 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, but this is probably like 1.5 inches, about 1.5 inches on the other side, and whatever folds here. I'm not really good at following rules, except the ones that I create in my own head and store there. But yeah, you can absolutely score it if you wish. It makes it easier for you. Just measure the center right here, and then probably score on each of the opposite sides. Is probably the easiest way to do it. But that's pretty much how you do that mini album. And then to do the inside, I kind of just grab scraps of paper because obviously at this point you're going to have a ton of scraps from all of the cutting. So here goes my scraps, right? And you kind of just put them in as you wish. I tend to cut these little borders off just with my scissor. These are just, you know how some 12 by 12 papers have that extra 1/2 inch with the description on it? I just cut it off and then just use any kind of fun paper puncher to do some kind of decorative edge on your papers. Do you find that when you glue the spine bit on spotty paper and fold it over, then open it up on the edges where it folds, it gathers up where bubbles? Yep, I know what you're saying. That's the reason why I kind of just, even with this one, I kind of laid it down and kind of made sure that it flattened. I find sometimes that the way that I avoid that is if I, how do I do this? Like if I take my glue and just make sure that the tip of the bottle is like firmly placed on my paper, and when I'm squeezing, I'm just squeezing and rolling, so it's not like I'm putting big old globs of glue on the paper, and I'm kind of just spreading it with it, so it's putting a thin layer of it instead of little bubbles or little globs of glue. I find that that's the best way to use it, and that's why I think it works really well with the what do you call it, with the mini albums, because it does leave that really clean finish when you keep it close to the paper like that. So just putting this little decorative trim, and again, there's no rules on where you should put it, but again, no measuring. Just gonna open it up and find a spot where I think this one will look good. I think it looks good there. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue again and just put a little bit here. Again, no measuring, but I know that this is about 3/4 of an inch, and I kind of eyeball it, and then I just place it here, and then I trim the excess after. So there goes that. And then for these, you're going to want to measure it because you're going to want to trim the corners. And I don't know if I should measure because obviously I'm not doing a very successful job today, but I'll try again. I'm thinking it's just because I measured everything incorrectly to start with, but that's just my hypothesis on that. So let me see. This one I'll cut at 5. And let's put this one down. And again, I'm just going to trim this off the bottom. And I put this one here maybe. I'm going to corner punch it right here. And let's see. Okay, that one's good. So now I'm just going to do that little decorative trim on top again. Like that. And then I'm just going to grab my adhesive again. And I'm going to lay it right to the corner edge and just put a really thin trim around the edge. And I still want it to be a pocket, so that's going to lay right there, edge to edge. And then just leave it for a sec, let it dry, not mess with it very much. And then I just take my scissors and just trim the little excess off after I've glued it down. Let me see. Like that. So now we have a little pocket where you can stick some photos in here. And then a little pocket where you can stick some photos in here. And then you just kind of keep decorating it until you feel that it has all of the fun embellishments that you're looking to do. So I think that's pretty much what I'm going to do for tonight. Do you guys have any questions? And I'll definitely do a video after this to show you more of the details. I'll probably do it closer to after CHA, since the next couple of days are going to be a little bit crazy here. But definitely stay tuned next week. I'll be arriving on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll definitely be doing some kind of live demo, sneak peeks from CHA on my Kinder Sample page. So if you guys want to see what's going on, what's happening at CHA this year, definitely look on my Facebook page because I'll be posting everything there. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. I'm going to stop the recording. Hopefully this time it'll save. Um, and like I said, just stay tuned. Look on the Helmar page. We'll have all kinds of fun stuff coming up. And we'll share everything that we see next week with you as well. So thanks for watching. Definitely, Melanie, if you make one, I want to see it. Just, you see how easy it is? And even when you goof up, you're really not goofing up. Bye.